Tatiana Martinez.
Tatiana Martinez. What do you do, Tatiana Martinez?
I'm an archaeologist. Yeah, and I'm an assistant project manager right now, so that's great.
Okay, nice. So what do you do as an archaeologist?
Yeah, so basically, archaeologists, they study past civilizations. Specifically, we study them through the things that they have left behind, like artifacts, any sort of, I was going to say like the biological part of it, but that's a different type of archaeology. I'm getting too into it. I'm getting too into it. The most simplistic answer is we study past civilizations through the things that they've left behind, specifically artifacts.
Huh. Yeah. And you have to go, like, how does that work, I guess, in your job? Do you have to physically go out to find them? Or is it like people are doing construction and they're like, yo, we found this bag of bones. You want to, like, how does that?
Actually, yeah, that too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of different ways that happens. So basically, I am specifically in this archaeology section called CRM, Cultural Resource Management. And we basically get hired by other companies to go and overlook where they want to build. And so we gave them the approval to build in those places. Yeah, because they don't want to, the main thing is they do not want to find bones. Because if they find bones, you have to stop it, and then an investigation has to start with the police first. Yeah, because they don't know, like, they want to know if it's a recent person that has passed away or, a person that was a long time ago. So yeah, that's the main thing. They hire us to go and investigate for them and give them the go-ahead.
How does that work, like investigating? Do you have to like manually go through and dig beforehand, or do you have like certain machinery that can like metal detect but like bone detect? Or, like, how does that,
Oh my gosh, I wish that would be amazing at this point. Well, there is kind of something like that, but those type of technologies, they're not used for what I do. Okay. They're mainly used for like excavations with top universities and things like that, But what we basically do is we either, and it really just depends on the state's laws as well. Like, I used to work in Texas, and a lot of the times we would go out and do shovel test pits. And basically you have to go a certain amount of meters down to like see the different soil types, and also see if you find anything, Typically what we can kind of find is, leftover like arrowheads. I mean, arrowheads isn't the correct term, but it's arrowheads. And, different like Native American artifacts. But yeah, here you only really do that for like sites that you already know are there. And you want to make sure that they're not going to be obstructing any of those sites. We typically actually just go out and look around at the floor, and that's it. Wow. Which I was very surprised, because like Texas doesn't like shovel test pits every single time. Like they do not, like, you have to do it. So I was surprised coming here that you only just kind of look at the floor and just are like, okay, no, it's good. There's nothing here. Yeah, it's really weird. So it just depends on the state laws, basically. But yeah.
What a weird thing. So, I mean, I'm assuming you've done some sort of like shovel test sort of stuff here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is the different things that maybe you might find here versus Texas?
There really isn't that much different. I mean, I know coming in, they were kind of like, oh, like, it's a different type of material that indigenous people used to use to make tools. Like, for example, they use a lot of obsidian here compared to Texas. So that's basically that type of thing, like the different types of, like, I guess, rock that they used for their materials. Other than that, it's the same. Unfortunately, we find a lot of historics, which means cans. Cans and glass, like glass bottles and things like that. But yeah, cans are the worst.
Yeah? What makes them worse?
They're just so boring. And I think a lot of archaeologists agree, but there's others that are like, oh, there's so much information. And you really can find a lot of information with cans, but they're so boring.
Yeah. What's the wildest thing you have found on the job?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Dang. The wildest thing that I found was actually not at my job, but at my field school while I was at UT in Portugal. And I found a Iron Age hairpin.
Huh.
Yeah, which is just a very basic, just kind of like elongated little like metal thing. And it was all rusted and yeah. It was really cool.
With your studies, are you able to find like how far back it is?
Yeah. But we actually already knew kind of like the era that we were already excavating because my professor was already excavating there for a very, very long time. So that's why we already knew that it was Iron Age. I'm sure that they actually did run the tests on it and actually got a more, a better reading on it. But yeah, that was the coolest thing that I found. And I was like, oh my gosh. and the oldest thing that I found too. So
yeah. Iron really Age, cool. Remind me, is what years?
Oh my gosh, don't ask me that.
No, yeah. I was like, Iron Age, when is that? I don't know.
It's BC.
Okay.
It's BC. But I don't know when to when. That is not what I studied. Yeah.
Dang. Have you found any sort of like, this is such a basic question, any kind of like dinosaur type stuff or not so much?
Oh my gosh, no, I wish you know what, there was one time where I got called off of a project. It was just my time to rotate and let someone new in, and then they found apparently like a triceratops skull or something like that, like by the oil fields or something like that. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like as soon as I leave the project, like so that was a bummer. But no, I personally haven't found anything like that. I wish.
That sounds like a wild thing to come across. Because like, how big is that?
It's huge, yeah. I know.
So trippy.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, an Iron Age pin, that's BC, like that's pretty wild. Like, and that seems very.
And it's very small,
yeah.
and you don't have to like dig so much around it. Yeah. I'm sure that was a lot of work. Yeah.
Here you go. Look what I found.
Yeah.
What is a crazy story that you've had on site? Is there anything that kind of stands out to you of like, hey, this happened at this one excavation? It was wild.
I feel like I've had a couple. I've had kind of like, because the thing is with archaeology, especially as a woman, you have to deal with like men.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
And a lot of the times, like, we would be out really close to like farmland. And it's always kind of dangerous with my line of work to be close to farmland because like they, sometimes get aggressive and they want you off of your off of your property. Wow. And my friends have gotten shot at before. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Personally, I haven't had that happen to me, thankfully. But I've had this farmer that actually went up to us and just wanted to figure out what we were doing. He was pretty sweet. But then he realized that I was like kind of like, I guess, the smallest of the girls. There was only just one other like woman there. But he really wanted to help me out. Like he was just like, oh, let me carry your backpack, or like, oh, I like if you need any help, just let me know. He saw me like starting my little hole, you know what I mean? He was like, oh, I can dig that for you, honey. And I'm like, this is literally my job. What do you mean? Like, I do this for a living. I literally dig holes all the time.
Yeah.
I can dig a hole. Thank you. Like, and it's just things like that, I don't know how many times I get called sweetie by like just construction workers or things like that. But you know what? I do use that to my advantage because they do typically listen to me if I have to be like, hey, you got to stop work. Because technically, I am their boss when I go out there. So, it has its pros and its cons. And I feel like, I think you probably heard about like my ghost story.
Yeah.
my ghost encounter. So yeah, this was actually out in Mammoth. We were going to be there for like, well, we were there for 2 weeks. And it was this condo that they got for us with 3 rooms. Like I was the first one to get there, so I got inside. It was pretty dark. Obviously, they're not gonna, leave the lights on. The first floor had the 3 bedrooms and like I think 2 bathrooms. And then you go upstairs and there's like a living room and then a part of like the kitchenette, the kitchen area, and then you go up another stairs and there's a loft. So yeah, I get there first and I'm just like looking through all like the rooms because I get my first pick. That's just how it is. And I don't know, I go to the last one, which is the master bedroom because it was the biggest one. Obviously it's like, oh, everyone wants to get that one first. But I literally go inside and I'm like, no, I don't like this. The vibes were like off. It was just like, it felt super heavy in there and just very strange. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick the room in the middle. My boss, my crew chief, actually ended up getting that one. And after the first night that we spent there, we were in the kitchen, eating breakfast, and we were all talking about like how we slept, because that's typical like morning talk, like, hey, how did you sleep, like, are you good? And yeah, everyone kind of said the same thing, but I brought it up and I was like, was there someone walking around like at midnight, like on the kitchen, living room area, because I kept on hearing them walk back and forth, like just pacing. I was like, what is happening? Can you go to sleep? Like we have to rise up early, like literally, like we're 5 a.m., 6 a.m., workers. So yeah, I was just like, midnight, like why? What are you doing? And everyone was like, no, I thought that was you. No, I thought that was you. And there's 3 of us. And we were like, what's happening? Who was up here walking and pacing back and forth? And then my chief, the one that got the master bedroom, he decided to, let us know that while he was going to sleep, he kept on hearing like this woman kind of like in his mind, or like, I don't know, it was strange the way he described it, but he kept on hearing this woman basically say, get out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then it was funny because like I was also, even though I thought it was one of my coworkers, I don't know, I kind of had the vibe that it was like a woman up there for some reason. And so did my other coworkers, who were like, wait, so we all kind of know that this, whatever this being is a woman. Yeah. And then we were looking throughout the pictures of the condo, and like the mom, because it's like a family that I guess like actually owns it, the mom is nowhere to be seen in any of the pictures. And we're like, what is happening?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they had family pictures out?
They had family pictures out, yeah.
It's like an Airbnb kind of thing.
Yeah. But it was like a little condo in Mammoth. Yeah, I'm guessing that's, the condo that they own, and then they just rent out for like people that want to go there throughout the season. But yeah, and then we just kept on having really weird things happen to us. Like, the pacing was consistent. Every single time at midnight, at night, every single day that we were there was pacing.
Did anyone go out to like check it out?
No. None of us. We were way too like scared.
Yeah.
I consulted with one of like my friends, like one of my witchy friends. She was like, you're like in a field of obsidian, because she knew where I was working at, and like there's a lot of obsidian out there, like natural obsidian. She was like, take those and put them in your rooms and you'll be fine. I'm like, okay, bet. Like, let's do it. Everyone took a huge rock.
Wow.
And it's so funny to me because like these are like men. They're like older than me.
Yeah.
And they were scared too.
Yeah.
So it was funny, but it was also frightening. But lots of weird things would happen. Like whenever we would chill in the living room, we would be trying to watch TV, and all of a sudden like the channel would change, or like the volume would rise up super high and then go super low, and the remote control is right there. Like we're all seeing it. We're like, we're like, what is happening? Yeah. There was me and my crew chief. We both had long hair, so we would feel our hair getting pulled sometimes in places where like, there was no static or anything that it could get stuck on, you know what I mean? So it was just getting kind of like pulled, and like, we're like, oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, so little things like that. Thankfully, nothing else happened.
Did you ever ask like the Airbnb owner, like, hey,
No.
really?
We never asked them, but they asked my crew chief if he could go back, and they wanted to send him, after we had come back, and they wanted to send him back to that Airbnb.
Oh.
And he was like, I really don't want to go back. I don't know how to tell them, like, I don't want that condo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got it. So I just kind of like scratched myself really hard, and I was just like, I think they had bed bugs. And so she got him another place to stay. But yeah, I was just like, you need to not stay back there, because that was really scary.
Dang. Now I know if I go to Mammoth, I need to look at the condo, and I'll send you a picture, and I'm gonna say, hey, is this the one? If it is, I'm good.
Oh yeah, and I remember it, so yeah, let me know.
Sure. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a wild thing. And you were never able to figure out, I guess, like what happened on the land or in the house?
No, we were trying to figure out, like, just like Googling it, but there was almost nothing.
I feel like that's always the case with some of these stories too. It's like, if they're obscure or they're not, they're not going to put the specifics of like, on this property this happened, especially if it's something that could be like an accidental or sickness or something, you just never know. But it's weird that you would notice the family pics that they kept in there, and there's no mom, and you're like, okay, well, maybe something happened over your mom. She don't want us here. She wants her family here.
Yeah, which makes complete sense, totally. But yeah, it was just kind of just such a weird thing for me, because I mean, I do believe in ghosts and things like that. I'm a very spiritual person. But it's also very hard when it happens to you, because you're like, am I literally going crazy? Like, is this really happening? Because other people are just not going to believe this. They're not going to believe in it because they don't believe in it, which, okay, like, makes sense, whatever you want to believe. But yeah, it was just crazy because there was 3 people experiencing the same thing.
Hearing the same stuff.
Yeah.
If he wanted to go back, it would be like, okay, maybe he was like a little bit extra with it, but like no one wants to go back, so clearly it's like
something really happened here, So
when you were doing your, like, I guess, excavations and things like that in the area, was it on the property or it was just kind of nearby?
No, it was nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nearby. There is a lot of like prehistoric things, which just generally means like indigenous things. So I don't know, maybe something to do with that, but yeah, it was just a wild ride. I could not sleep for like 2 weeks, and so I just started getting more and more paranoid. And I was just like, this is a never-ending hell.
Did the obsidian help at all or no?
I feel like if we didn't put it in our rooms, it maybe would have come into our rooms. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just glad that we kept it in the living room area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But I don't know. We'll never know because we were quick thinking with that at least.
No, that part is good. I think, if I'm not mistaken, obsidian is like a purifier or something of that sort. So, I mean, your friend, she got you.
Yeah.
That part is good.
I took those rocks back with me, the ones that I got from the room. I was just like, you know what? Actually, this is good. Like, I'll just keep this.
Right. Wherever I go, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just bring this with me just in case. Gosh. Are there any types of projects that you prefer over others? Or are they all similar?
Oh, no. There's surveying, which is what we typically do, where you go out and you look at the land, and you kind of see if there's anything there. But then there's monitoring, which basically you get hired out by that company to basically just watch them do construction and make sure that they don't mess with whatever resource or whatever artifact is around that area. Those are the ones that are boring because you're literally just watching construction happen. You're just there like
and then know not to go there. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah. And then that's another issue, and that's I remember when I first started, I was always super anxious because I especially when I first started, I used to have more of a baby face. Like I'm a woman, and like literally like construction workers are almost always men. I did see a couple of female construction workers, and they were always cool because they always had like hot pink construction worker hats, and I was like, yes. So that was really cool. But yeah, it's just always a little nerve-wracking, especially when you're starting, because like I said, you're kind of like their boss for the day, like, kind of telling them like, oh, hey, don't cross this way. Oh, hey, you can't do that because that was not a part of the plan. That was not in the construction plan that you said you were going to do. And it's really hard to stand up to like 12 men that might be there.
And if you don't tell them and they go do something and it comes back on you, or vice versa, if you do tell them and they still go, it's like a weird.
Oh yeah, and they've tried to do that to me before.
I'm sure.
And I've always been like, no. I covered all my bases. Here's here. Like, here's the text messages. I almost always did that. Like, of course I would have to call them up, like the bosses, and talk to them and whatever. But a lot of times I would text them just to have like that, like, like, hello, it's written right here.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't pin this on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of my last jobs that I had to go out in the field that happened, where like they were like, oh, well, I was literally leaving for the day. I was done for the day, and they're like, where is she at? Where's the archaeologist at? We weren't finished. And I was like, you literally told me bye. You literally said we're good. We're done for the day.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, no, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So...
It's an interesting job, it seems like, especially like you're saying, when there's a lot of men around, it can be tricky as a woman to navigate it, but then on the flip side, you're like, I'm a badass.
Yeah, no, you definitely, and I'm definitely really grateful for this part of my life, because that I'm moving to other things to do, but yeah, I'm really grateful for that, because now I know how to like talk in a room full of men. You know what I mean? Like, now I know how to really assert myself and be like, no, this needs to be done, or no, that's not my fault.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, it's good. It's good. It was nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking. But
you've been doing it for how many years?
I actually, since I graduated, like as soon as I graduated, I got a job in CRM, which was really lucky for me because a lot of my friends did struggle, so I was like really happy that I was able to have that. But since 2016, wow. So it's been a minute. Yeah.
What, for anybody who might be interested in going into that field, what types of qualifications do you need to go into that?
Yeah, for sure. So you definitely do need a bachelor's in anthropology or archaeology. It really doesn't matter which one you get, because a lot of the times with anthropology, you do have lots of classes that are for like specifically archaeology and like past civilizations. So I actually at UT I started off with classical archaeology, which means like Greek and Roman, and then I transferred over to anthropology with a minor of classical civilizations, which was still studying Greek and Roman, because that was what I really wanted to do. I really always wanted to be an archaeologist over there in like, Europe. And specifically, I liked Roman stuff.
Specifically.
Yeah. So, it really doesn't matter what you get, like anthropology or archaeology, but you definitely always have to have a field school as well. Just at least one field school where you get to learn how to excavate and, all the things that you really got to look for while you're excavating. But I mean, truthfully, nothing prepares you. I'm not going to lie. Nothing really prepares you, especially if you go into cultural resource management, because the way that they do things is a bit different. You just really got to learn on the job, kind of. I mean, obviously, you do get to learn a little bit of things during college, or especially during your field school, because they teach you like about soils and things like that you do need to know. But yeah, you really got to learn on the job if you do cultural resource management. So yeah.
I believe that. I feel like with a lot of jobs, school is great and it teaches you kind of like the basics, but once you like go in, you're like, shit.
Yeah. Like, wait, what? This is not what they, what?
Yeah. And then they teach you their own way, and then so on and so forth. And especially, I would assume too, like going from maybe Texas soil to California soil, it's like probably different things you have to learn. Like you're saying, different codes. You don't have to dig at every spot.
Yeah.
And you're like, Should have started here. No,
no, I actually miss digging.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. I feel like anyone that gets into archaeology, that's literally one of the things that they really love to do, which is like digging. We like to get dirty. Like, let's go play with the soil.
Yeah, I'm with that. That sounds. Were you for the most part in Texas? Like, was there a specific area that you would stay in, or you would kind of?
So they would take me all over. A lot of the times I would go work in Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I from my Texas office, I would go work in Texas, Oklahoma. I did a little bit of Arkansas. They sent me to North Dakota.
Wow. North Dakota is like interesting too.
I know,
yeah.
right?
Wow.
They sent me all the way over there for just like a windmill project or something like that. Mm-hmm. They were trying to make windmills over there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they sent me actually everywhere when I was in Texas. And then once I moved to California, I think they've only sent me to Nevada, to work there, and that's about it. But I mean, it's nice to work here in California because like you get to go to like the sequoias and the really nice forests and work there.
That's true.
So that's one of the perks of working here.
There's a lot of things in this state specifically. I mean, it's like whatever terrain you want, like there's that terrain here. Texas is like we got some grasslands, and then I really like West Texas. Personally, like the Marfa area, I'm like, aliens, I freaking love it over there. And the wind and how it's colder over there, like West Texas I dig, but the coastal, I'm like, it's too hot.
Yeah, no, my first ever job was in South Texas.
Okay.
I forgot, like probably near Brownsville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
right
maybe.
By the U.S.-Mexico border. It's like
it was pretty close to it, and it was like almost 130 degrees out there, or something crazy like that. And I was just like, the person that was teaching us, because it was two of us that were new to doing CRM. He was just like, I'm so sorry that y'all had to be out here during this heat, and we were all dying. It wasn't just us. I was just like, how is this my first job and I'm already like sweating buckets, and it's also hard because I didn't really go to the gym or anything like that. So like when you're first starting it too, like it's really hard. Like digging is a lot of hard work, and you grow a lot of muscles like very quickly in that job.
I'm sure. And especially depending on where you're at, like some soil's a lot like drier, I guess is the best way, or more rocky, or more this, more that. So it's like
clay is the worst.
Really?
Clay is the worst. It's just you're just there and you're like, oh my god.
How deep do you have to dig to go?
What was it? It's been so long since I've done a shovel test, but I think it was 100 meters. Is that a lot? No, that's a lot, right?
Oh my god, yeah, that's like a mile down.
I forgot. Maybe it was 100. No, but then 100 centimeters is a bit too small.
Yeah, 100 centimeters.
I always forget.
Maybe this.
You know what? I remember going down like at least like 60. I believe it's 60 meters.
Wow, but that's like a deep hole.
Oh no, yeah. 3 feet. Oh, it's a deep hole. Yeah. Normally it was supposed to be like around 3 feet. Yeah, like 3 feet, 4 feet, around there. 4 feet, 5 feet.
Okay.
Around there. So yeah, so then.
Okay.
I always because they always used to say in meters, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yes.
That's why I always forget.
3 feet. So 60 meters.
So 3 feet, yeah.
Okay. So 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's okay.
3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, around there. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I can't remember.
60 times 3. That's how long you over there. Just I got it. Hey.
We're done.
Yeah,
well, that's why they used to praise the people that were the fastest at digging, because you're efficient. You're getting it done quickly. And so I just feel like a lot of people were trying to get to that goal of like being efficient and like digging really fast. And well, you're also like shifting.
Sifting?
Yeah, sifting. You're also sifting and just being like, going through like the dirt. Right. So it's a lot. It takes a lot at the beginning, but then you slowly start to get like faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
So
especially like you said, once you start getting those muscles, it's like, okay, I got this now. The beginning, I'm sure, is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, of course.
This is actually a really good conversation.
Oh,
I think I want to be an archaeologist.
Yes, it's just a treasure hunt.
Honestly, it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Mine is the ghost story. Everything else is like, I can see that as being an interesting thing, especially if you find things. If you find like, different random things, it's like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always way more fun when you find things, but
yeah.
I mean, it also depends because I don't like cans. Fuck cans.
Yeah, cans and glass bottles. It's like, I guess last question: if you do find like cans and glass bottles, like, do you keep them? Do you throw them away? Are they responsible to the state? How would that work?
So, I know, right?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we normally just whatever we find, we literally put back.
Wow.
Yeah. Normally, there's some times where you do have to collect that for more, more evaluation for it. But yeah, most of the time you keep it where it's at because that's kind of like how archaeology is. You don't really want to like mess with anything. Like it should be how it is. So yeah, but I don't know. With cans, I'm always like, this is litter. Like we should maybe, I don't know, pick it up too. Like yeah, like we should. I don't know, but yeah. So
that's funny.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah, good to know. Because I know that sometimes there's certain like rules and regulations on like property depending on where you're at and stuff. So I'm always like,
oh yeah, and us archaeologists can never take anything.
Okay.
Never. Like we're not supposed to take
not even
anything.
Arrows, nothing?
No.
Dang.
Not even the cool stuff. We're literally not supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
Like that's for the earth.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You know?
I get that. You're like, I'm here to do a job and that's it. So like shit. But still, you still have a cool experience overall. So it's like
yeah. We have the pictures. We all take pictures of the arrowheads that we find. We're like, oh my gosh. Look at this one I found.
It's made of obsidian.
Yeah.
Yo, that's funny. That's pretty cool. Well, thank you again. And
thank you.
Until next time, we'll have
yes.
Maybe all your art escapades.
Ooh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited.
I'll definitely come back with like probably way more stories once I'm in London.
Yeah, that's gonna be a whole different like ball game of like questionnaires for sure.
Yeah.
London's gonna be dope.